So let's start. Time थोड़ा कम है. We should start now.
Yes.
So today we'll deal with necropsy procedure in large animals and also collection and preservation
Yes,
of
sir.
materials for different disease condition, general guidelines for collection and preservation of materials, and also the collection of materials in different disease conditions. This important topic will be dealt today regarding necropsy procedure, collection, preservation of materials in different disease condition. So first of all, we will start with
Yes, sir.
postmortem examination. So you know that postmortem examination should always be conducted after receiving a formal request from the owner. ये mandatory है. We should request a formal request from the owner of the animal, and this letter should contain the history of the case, time and date of the death of the animals. These all data should be collected from the animals before conducting the postmortem. The postmortem report should also include the identification of the animal, illness duration, treatment given, preventive measures taken, along with other relevant data. The request letter should contain this also regarding the treatment procedure, treatment given, identification of the animals. These all things have to be taken before conducting the postmortem. And how you will conduct the postmortem? So first of all, you have to do external examination, and thereafter you should examine the internal body organs. For external examination, it is mandatory that the different body parts like eyes, ear, anus, vulva, mouth, external nostrils should be examined for presence of any blood or any other lesions. Here you should take care that if blood is coming from the natural orifice, it can be case of anthrax bacilli, and such body should not be opened for postmortem examination. So, in summary, you should examine for presence of any fracture, trauma, wound, cuts, any fungal infection like ringworms, any parasitic infestation like lice and ticks, any prostration, any discharges, any ulceration, any other marks about the body. You have to record these all changes regarding external examination. Thereafter, you have to conduct internal examination. For the internal examination, the animal body should be placed on the left side so that the rumen is away from the person conducting postmortem. This will facilitate the postmortem procedure if the rumen is opposite of the person conducting the postmortem. Thereafter, make a long incision from the jaws to the perianal region. A midline incision extending from the jaws to perineal region should be given. The mammary gland should be removed. You can examine the mammary lymph glands. You can examine the external genital organs. You can examine the umbilicus if it is young ones. Thereafter, lift the right leg away from the body. Abduction of the right leg is done, and thereafter incision is given. The incision is given to the medial side of each leg. Separate right front and hind legs by cutting muscles and joints. Extend the incision from the sternum to the pelvis and open the abdominal cavity. Thereafter, expose the thoracic cavity. Separate the head from the neck. Examine the body cavities for any contents. Open the pelvic cavity by cutting the pubis. So, in summary, you have to open all the three important body cavities, that is pleural body cavity or thoracic body cavity, abdominal body cavity, and the pelvic cavity. These three cavity has to open for examining the different body parts. So before you enter and examine the viscera, first of all examine the subcutaneous tissue and muscles. by removing the skin. The skin should be removed. The animal should be de-skinned for examination of subcutaneous tissue and muscles. What you have to observe? You have to observe for any congestion, hemorrhage, edema, nodules, signs of jaundice, fat deposits, or any necrosis or calcification in the subcutaneous tissue and muscles. Thereafter, the different organs of the different body cavities has to be examined. So after you have opened the carcass, first of all, examine the first of all examine. So before removing the organs, you examine in situ the different organs regarding displacement of the organs, any accumulation of fluid like blood, serous pus, any adhesions, any internal parasites, any presence of tumor or abscess, and thereafter you have to extract out different body system. Say for example the cardiovascular system. So in this system we have to examine the heart basically. So first of all superficially examine the pericardium, then you incise the pericardium and observe the epicardial surface of the heart. You can cut the heart to examine the contents of the heart chambers regarding any blood clots. You also examine the myocardium, endocardium, and the valves. After examination of cardiovascular, okay, so after cardiovascular system, you have to examine the respiratory system. In respiratory system, you examine the nostrils, the nasal cavities, thereafter the larynx, trachea, the mediastinal lymph nodes, and then examine the lung by palpation for presence of any nodules. You make multiple incision in the lungs to observe the lungs from different sides. Also examine the bronchi and bronchioles. Thereafter, you have to examine the digestive system. So in the digestive system, you examine the mouth, the tongue, esophagus. Then the liver is free from its attachment. The liver is examined, gallbladder is examined, bile duct should also be examined for presence of any lesions, worms or gallstone. Also examine the pancreas and thereafter the different parts of the alimentary canal, that is the rumen, reticulum, omesum, abomesum, the intestine, the small intestine and large intestine. They have to cut open to examine for any abnormal contents. Thereafter, you examine the urinary system and related organs like adrenal gland, remove the kidneys, also remove the renal capsule to examine the cortex, give incision in the kidney to examine the corticular and medullary regions along with calyces and pelvis. Also examine the urinary bladder for presence of any abnormal contents. Thereafter, examine the reproductive tract, say for in females, the vagina, cervix, uterus, oviduct, ovaries, in male, testes, and accessory sex glands. You have to examine these organs. Finally, you should also note the changes in the eyes and the ears. And the most difficult part is to examine the brain. So you should need a bone cutter to remove the skull bone to expose the meninges and the brain so that it can be examined. Also examine the vertebra and the spinal cord, the bones and the skeletal muscles for presence of any fracture should also be examined. So in very summary, this was the procedure how to conduct a postmortem. Thereafter, you have to observe the changes, note the changes, and make a tentative diagnosis. And for further confirmatory diagnosis, you need to collect the material from the morbid animals, and therefore you should have a fair idea of collection of materials. So regarding collection of materials for laboratory diagnosis, first of all, you need some instruments like scissors, forceps, blade, BP knife, gloves, pasteur pipettes, screw cap bottles, McCartney bottles, glass lights, slice swab, glass rinses, tape rolls, packing boxes, cotton, polythene bags, and you should also wear the aprons, gumboots, and face mask. So there are some general consideration for collecting of a specimen. What is this? Before collecting the specimen, specimen collected should always be accompanied by full history and relevant clinical data. That is, the labeling of the specimen should contain the clinical symptom, duration of illness, species affected, probable diagnosis, information regarding recent or current treatment. So labeling should be done over the specimen collected, and in case of a disease outbreak, the materials from 5 to 6 animals should be collected at the height of body temperature showing clinical signs. In case of serum, always collect paired serum samples. One sample at the start of the disease and another after about 1 month, that is during the recovery phase. So two times you have to collect the serum samples. All biological samples should be transported on ice as soon as to the laboratory. In case of death, postmortem should be conducted as early as possible to avoid any autolytic and putrefactive changes. Materials collected from the disease should be kept at 4 degrees centigrade if there is any delay in the dispatch. So you have to keep it in the freeze at 4 degrees centigrade, and materials for biological examination should not be kept at minus 20 degrees centigrade, that is at sub-zero temperature. While for virus isolation, it can be stored at minus 20 to minus 80 degree centigrade. Detailed postmortem reports should be given. For histopathology, a specimen should be collected in 10% formalin. The transport media usually used for biological examination for virus examination is 50% PBS, phosphate buffered glycerin, phosphate buffered saline, yeah, HBSS. If you don't have any transport media, it is desirable to collect tissue in sterile containers and transport it on ice. The pus, blood, sputum, feces, urine should be kept in container, which should be properly packed, tightened. Swabs should also be collected from the exudates, that is from nostrils, ear, skin, wounds. When virus is suspected, you should add antibiotics in the transport media. So what can be the different anticoagulants or transport media or preservatives? So in very summary, the different anticoagulants for blood you can use it is heparin, ADTA, sodium or potassium oxalates, potassium or ammonium oxalate mixture. Blood is transported in chilled condition but never frozen. Antibiotics may be added when culture is not required. The different transport media includes 50% phosphate buffered glycerine, hanged balanced salt solution. This is for virus isolation, 10% formalin solution. For histopathological examination, you can also use merthiolate and sodium azide solution. You can also use phosphate buffer saline as transport media. And take care that the glassware should be well washed and sterilized. For washing, use 3% washing soda at 80 degrees centigrade, and you should first autoclave it for 30 minutes at 15 pound pressure. So the glassware must be properly sterilized. Aluminium foil and paper we used for packing of glasswares. All the glasswares are sterilized at 180 degrees centigrade for 1 hour in hot air oven. So for bacteriological examination, the preservation should be done at 4 degrees centigrade, never kept at minus 20 degrees centigrade. For biological studies, you can preserve in the similar way. However, you can add antibiotics. And if possible, you can use 50% buffered glycerin solution and store at minus 20 to minus 80 degrees centigrade. For immunological studies, paired serum samples should be taken and it should be preserved in merthiolate. The serum should be preserved in merthiolate and kept at -20 to -80 degrees centigrade. For histopathological examination, 10% formalin is best preservative. For toxicological examination or chemical examination, large piece of visceral organs, blood content should be taken, and it should be taken in refrigerated condition with ice or even kept in saturated salt solution. For parasitological examination like ticks, mites, lice, fleas, this should be preserved in 70% alcohol. And finally, you should have a good idea that in which disease condition, what sample has to be taken. So I have enlisted few of the important diseases here. Say for example, if you are suspecting a case of anthrax disease, if it is a suspected case of anthrax, then the blood smear should be taken from the ear or tail vein because the animal is not to be open in case of anthrax. So prick the ear or tail vein to take blood smears, and you can take the swab of oozing blood that has been oozing from the natural orifices. You can also take the dried muzzle dried insect for biological testing. In case of black water, which is due to Clostridium chowrii, smears from the exudate from thigh, that is heavy muscles. From the affected heavy muscles, smears of the exudate should be taken. Affected muscles should be taken on ice and in 10% formalin. In case of hemorrhagic septicemia, that is HS, blood smear should be taken particularly from the hard blood and should be fixed in methanol. Small pieces of lung and spleen should also be taken. Long bone, if the animal is dead long before, if the body is autolyzed or putrefied and you are not getting good samples from lung and spleen, you should take the long bones. And for histopathological examination, pieces of lung, liver, spleen, kidney and heart should be taken in 10% formalin. Next important disease is tuberculosis, which is due to Mycobacterium bovis, or major cause is Mycobacterium bovis. So in case of TB, teased impression is smear from the inner surface of the nodular lesion. Where there is nodule, you have to tease and take the impression smear and immediately fix the smear by heat. We can also take swab from the causative mass in the nodular lesion, which appear like a pus. Pieces of affected organs, since TB can be found in any organ. Most common is lung, but it can affect any organ. So accordingly, you have to take the affected organ in 10% formalin. For milk examination, in a tuberculous case, affected quarter should be milked and collected milk should be kept in sterile containers for culture examination. In case of jaundice disease, which is caused by Mycobacterium avium paratuberculosis, the washings of the alimentary tract should be taken in a sterile bottle. Smears of mucosa pinched from rectum. The rectum can be assessed and the mucosa smear should be taken, and affected pieces of intestine and affected mesenteric lymph nodes should be collected in 10% formalin. In case of enterotoxemia, which is basically caused by perfringes, you should take heat fixed impression smear from the affected intestinal mucosa. Contents from the intestine should be preserved in chloroform. Add 3 to 4 drops of chloroform and take about 1 foot long small intestine preserved in chloroform or ice. For histopathological examination, you can collect the organs from liver, lung, spleen, kidney, heart, stomach, intestine and other organs in 10% formalin. Next is actinobacillosis, which is caused by Actinobacillus ligneraceae. So pus formation is common in Actinobacillus and actinomycosis. So first of all, you should take pus from the deeper portion of the lesion, and these smears should be heat fixed. You can also collect the pus in sterile tubes and the affected tissue pieces should be taken in 10% formalin for histopathology. In case of actinomycosis, it is similar to actinobacillosis. So you have to collect the pus,
Mm.
smear pus in tube, and samples in 10% formalin. An important disease in equines, that is strangles caused by Streptococcus equi. You have to take smears and swabs from pus and discharges from nasal cavity. Also take the affected lymph nodes, lung, spleen, and trachea in 10% formalin for histopathological examination. Another important disease in equine is glanders caused by Pseudomonas mallei, from where in glanders pus is very common. So you take swab from the pus,
Yes.
pieces of lungs and superficial lymph nodes in formalin. Smears from discharge should be also taken. In case of coli bacillosis, which is due to E. coli, intestinal content, a small piece of intestinal content showing lesions along with heart blood, mesenteric lymph node, liver, spleen, kidney, and gallbladder should be collected on ice for culture examination. Next is salmonellosis. In case of salmonella, it is almost similar to E. coli. You have to collect a small piece of intestinal content, heart blood, mesenteric lymph nodes, liver, spleen, kidney, gallbladder. It is almost similar to E. coli. One important disease is botryomicosis, which causes gallbladder condition, particularly in the mammary gland. So it is caused by Staphylococcus aureus. So you have to collect the pus for culture examination and also smear for microscopical examination. It is a gallbladder condition, and from the smear you can easily diagnose. It appears like a bunch of grapes. Therefore, it is called as botryomicosis. In case of leptospirosis, organs having lesions like liver and kidney. In leptospirosis, liver is basically damaged and also the kidney. So you have to take the samples from the liver and kidney in 10% formalin for histopathological examination. You can also take urine particularly, and it should be preserved by adding formalin. 1 drop of formalin to 20 ml of urine. Also take blood for culture. For leptospirosis, a different strain will be needed. Uh, Next is FMD, foot and mouth disease caused by picornavirus. So this is a vesicular disease. So the vesicles, the necrosed tongue and heart, and also it is a viral disease. So it has to be collected in phosphate buffered glycerin. 1 gram of tissue from unruptured vesicle in transport media, and for histopathological examination, affected parts including intestine and heart in 10% formalin. Two other vesicular diseases are vesicular erythema and vesicular stomatitis. So the story will be same as for FMD. Next is rinderpest. So usually rinderpest is not. India is free from rinderpest, and no cases has been reported for the last many years. So this may be not be needed. Rinderpest. Next is PPR, Pestidiospatitis ruminants. It is also very important disease caused by morbillivirus. And for PPR, you have to follow the same rules of rinderpest. That is, pieces of spleen, mesenteric lymph nodes, tonsillar tissue should be taken in capped vials, chilled to sub-zero temperature for viral isolation. And for histopathological examination, you have to collect tissue from digestive tract, respiratory tract. You can also take impression smear. In case of infectious bovine rhinotracheitis, that is IBR, caused by herpesvirus, swabs from nasal and vaginal mucosa should be collected and transported in 2 ml of transport media containing all solution. It is a different type of solution which is called as all solution. You should also take the preputial vas. Since it is a genital affecting disease, you have to take preputial vas in isotonic solution saline. Also collect organs for histopathological examination in 10% formalin. Next is blue tongue. So the liver, the spleen, the lymph nodes, and brain should be collected on ice. And you can add spleen and heart blood in OPG. This OPG is prepared by mixing potassium oxalate, phenol, glycerin, and distilled water. This is a viral disease. Also collect left ventricle, coronary artery, and aorta in 10% formalin for histopathology. In case of pox, scabs should be collected in 50% glycerin. In skin or lung lesions should be collected in HBSS solution mixed with antibiotic. Next, scrappy. In scrappy, you should collect the brain. Since scrappy is neurotropic, caused by prion, the changes is only found in the brain. So collect brain in 10% formalin. Swine fever caused by pestivirus in case of swine. In this condition, heart blood should be taken, pieces of spleen, lymph nodes, liver, kidney and brain should be taken on ice and 10% formalin. In case of rabies, you know, it is a very important disease caused by Lyssa virus. You have to take impression smear from the hippocampus and from the cerebellum and fix the smear in methanol. For histopathological examination, half portion of the brain should be taken in 10% formalin or Jenker solution and other half in 50% glycerol saline. In case of canine distemper, so this is not a case of ruminant. So for your interest only, it is a case of
Yeah.
Canidae family. You have to
Correct.
take trachea, lung, lymph nodes, skin, kidney, urinary bladder, and formalin. Similar is the case with ICH, which is case of dog, disease of dogs. In African horse sickness, a viral disease caused by orevirus, you have to take the fluid from the pericardium and pleura, heart, blood, and serum. Also affected lung, kidney, spleen, lymph nodes in 50% glycerol saline. In case of equine encephalomyelitis, brain and spinal cord has to be collected. And one important condition is aflatoxicosis, which is a fungal toxin where liver is greatly enlarged and become yellowish. So in this condition, you have to collect liver piece in 10% formalin. So this was some important condition. And for the examination of aflatoxin, you can also collect 500 gram of feed samples for estimation of aflatoxin in the feed. So it was in very summary the different uh, topics which should be covered under the necropsy procedure, particularly in the large animals. So today we have seen the necropsy procedure, collection collection of materials, a general guideline, and collection of materials from different disease condition and their transportation media, anticoagulants. So this was all about today class.
Yes.
Thank you. So you have your
Thank you.
exam at about 4. So we should
Mm.